lane closure from Horizon South Parkway to Jimmy Dias Parkway this morning. That'll go from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. every day until Saturday. Crews are collecting debris out there, so be careful driving through the area. Take a different route if you can. Taking you outside now, giving you a live look at the Bobby Jones Expressway. A little bit of rain on the lens there this morning, coming up on 6:04. More tragic news coming out of Aiken County. A 10-year-old girl is dead in the latest shooting investigation.
And this comes as we are still searching for answers as to why a 3-year-old was found with a gunshot wound also in Aiken County. Your Taylor Martin joining us now live outside the mobile home park where that 3-year-old was shot. Taylor, what have investigators said so far about these cases?
Well, actually, the incident with the 3-year-old happened around 3 a.m. on Monday morning, not far from where I am now, near the 100 block of Tab Drive. Now, right now, deputies say the case is under investigation, presumably to determine whether it was accidental and whether anyone will face charges. Now, according to the incident report, an arriving deputy found the 3-year-old lying on a couch with a gunshot wound to his head area, and the child was still breathing and moving. Now, the deputy saw a gun on the table area directly across from the couch. It had a shell casing jammed inside it, and the deputy removed the magazine and secured the gun in a patrol car. A deputy applied pressure to the boy's head until emergency medical crews arrived and rushed the child to a hospital, and no suspects have been arrested in this case so far. Now, Monday evening, a 10-year-old child died after being shot in the chest near the 300 block of Windy Lane in Windsor. Now, the Aiken County coroner says a preliminary investigation indicates a family member was handling a small caliber rifle when it accidentally discharged. When we caught up with Captain Eric Abdullah about these cases, we asked what he would say to the people who he says are hearing about these kids, and he says exposure to guns in the county isn't uncommon, and he had some advice.
I can only provide a way of doing it. For an example, using a gun safe, only you have the combination or access to the keys to it, or even gun locks. But also educate your children about firearms if you're a responsible gun owner.
Now, an autopsy will take place in Newberry. Now, in the case of the 10-year-old, no arrests have been made.
All right, still a lot of questions unanswered. Thank you for covering these horrible stories for us this morning, Taylor.
More news coming out of Aiken County.
Here, along Bobby Jones, right here near the Augusta Mall, there is some red and yellow right there, so do be aware of that if you're in that area. Also, we do have a heads up for drivers. There's going to be a lane closure from Horizon South Parkway to Jimmy Dias Parkway this morning. That's going to go from 9 a.m. until 2:30 p.m. every day until Saturday. That's because crews are going to be collecting debris, so you want to be careful driving through that area, and really, if you can, go ahead and take a different route. That way you don't have to get stuck in that. Taking you outside now, giving you a live look at Walton Way at 6:33. Two unrelated child shootings are currently being investigated in Aiken County. They happened within 24 hours of each other.
In the latest case, the Aiken County Sheriff's Office tells us a 10-year-old died Monday night after being shot in the chest. Meanwhile, we're learning a few new details in the shooting of a 3-year-old several hours earlier. You're taking a look at the map showing the distance between those two shootings. Aiken County deputies say the 3-year-old was shot on Tab Drive and the 10-year-old was shot and killed on Windy Lane. Your Taylor Martin joins us live now near Tab Drive where that 3-year-old shooting took place. Taylor, what's the latest?
Well, Nick, the incident with the 3-year-old happened around 3 a.m. Monday here near the 100 block of Tab Drive. Now, right now, deputies say the case is under investigation, presumably to determine whether it was accidental and whether anyone will face charges. Now, according to the incident report, an arriving deputy found the 3-year-old lying on a couch with a gunshot wound to the child's head area, and the child was still breathing and moving. The deputy saw a gun on the table area directly across from the couch. It had a shell casing jammed inside of it, and the deputy removed the magazine and secured the gun in a patrol car. A deputy applied pressure to the child's head until emergency crews arrived and rushed the child to a hospital. No suspects have been arrested in the case of the 3-year-old. Now, moving on to Monday evening, a 10-year-old child died after being shot in the chest near the 300 block of Windy Lane in Windsor. Macon County Coroner says a preliminary investigation indicates a family member was handling a small caliber rifle when it accidentally discharged. When we caught up with Captain Eric Abdullah with the Aiken County Sheriff's Office, we asked what he would say to people hearing about these kids. And he says exposure to guns in the county isn't uncommon, and he has some advice.
Around here, most kids like to go hunting with their parents, and obviously through their years, they're being taught about weapon safety. But, we also, for those who don't hunt, but take that opportunity to teach your children about weapons.
Now, an autopsy will take place in Newberry for the 10-year-old, and there have been no arrests made in that case.
We're still working to get more details in both of these cases, and of course, we'll keep you updated when we do. Taylor Martin live out there in Aiken for us this morning. Thank you, Taylor.
The town of Wagner will receive
Next week after this morning's light rain, 646.
Georgia's brand new school voucher program is still a work in progress. The plan will provide a $6,500 stipend to put eligible students in private school.
As Abby Kasoris explains, lawmakers still have to decide where that money is coming from.
The Georgia Promise Scholarship is another line item for lawmakers to argue over next year. Spending is limited to 1% of the $14 billion that Georgia spends on its schools. Doing the math, that's $140 million, about 21,000 scholarships if students apply.
That this is going to change the trajectory of so many lives.
Holly Torrey is a Georgia mom and a self-proclaimed voucher kid. Her home state of Ohio is one of 11 states with a universal voucher program. Right now, Georgia's voucher program is limited to special education students, but that will change next school year. The governor's Office of Student Achievement is expected to announce the list of the bottom 25% of schools on December 1st. Students zoned for those schools can apply.
We need to approach education in a student-first manner.
The Georgia Education Savings Authority approved the new rules on Monday. Students who qualify for the $6,500 voucher could spend the money on tuition, textbooks, transportation, homeschooling supplies, therapy, tutoring, or early college courses.
If we look at the current special needs voucher program, the average tuition is $14,000 in the schools. So this is not even half.
Kindergarten teacher and Georgia Association of Educators President Lisa Morgan is planning to fight back against the notion that schools should fight for funding.
As this, quote, school choice, it implies that parents are making a choice. But the reality is private schools are making the choice because they pick and choose their students.
Trey says she believes the program should be offered to more students, even those in well-performing schools.
Because a child may be zoned for the best school in the state of Georgia, but if it's failing one child, then it's a failing school for that one child.
The Education Savings Account program will begin during the 2025-2026 school year. Parents will need proof of approved expenditures to receive the money. In Atlanta, I'm Abby Kasoris.
Georgia Secretary of State
Boulder, which we'll look at in the 7-day momentarily. 653.
All right, it is almost Thanksgiving, and before you drop your turkey into that hot grease this Thanksgiving, Doctors Hospital and Richmond County fire crews are showing you right there what can happen if you are not safe when you fry it. Yesterday, the hospital hosted its annual turkey fryer demonstration. Experts say that Thanksgiving and fall can increase burn-related injuries, many of them caused by turkey fryers and other cooking-related accidents.
Just like frying a turkey, you want to make sure that you establish a zone of safety. Do not use any accelerants, gas, diesel, to get the rubbish on fire.
Each year, that demonstration is an opportunity to educate the community about safety measures to make sure that you and your family have a happy holiday season.
And speaking of Thanksgiving, here are some events you can check out this week. Early Bird Run Giving 5K will happen this Saturday at 9 in the morning. The run will start and finish at Mill Village Trailhead on Eve Street. Then at 11, the annual James Brown Turkey Giveaway will be at the Carrie J. Mays Community Center. You can only get a turkey if you pre-registered. Then at 5, the Tolliver County Sheriff's Office is holding a drive-through giveaway at the Senior Center in Crawfordville.
Turning to